Technology Survey of India. Mr. Sailesh Tiwari, Director, Computerisation and Information System, Railway Board, Ministry of Railways. So please join us. Mr. Loknath Behra, Inspector General, Bureau of Police Research. Mr. S.D. Mishra, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Delhi Police. So please join us on the stage. Mr. Shailendra Kumar, Inspector General, Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF. Then Mr. Sachin Malik, Consultant, Microsoft Consulting Services. We have another speaker in this session, Mr. Amit Sharma, Special Secretary, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. Sir, I request you to join us. I request session chair to please make a note of this, that Mr. Amit Sharma has joined us. With this, I hand over the session to Sir Abhishek Singh.
Thank you. Indeed, it's an honor and privilege to be back in the IT fraternity and the colleagues with whom I used to work very closely till a year back. And the session that we just attended with regard to the data security and the importance of information and IT security is very critical for people in the government. But the way technology is growing and the way ICT and internet and web-enabled technologies are dominating our lives, it is security, safe practices, safe internet practices, sharing of data, privacy. These issues are relevant to each and every citizen. Today, in the last session, somebody mentioned about the pace at which internet and technology has grown. The time taken for Facebook to get a million users, and now it's a billion plus, and growing fast, plus other apps which allow sharing of data and information with, earlier we used to say with a click of a mouse. Today it's a tap on a touch screen, and data flows from one part of the world to the other part, and it has great ramifications on all of us, especially the government. And as and when different government departments adopt e-governance, they build up infrastructure, they build up networks, they build up data centers, they build up systems. Ultimately, the objective is to make life easier and convenient for the citizens. But at the same time, it also brings in the risks which are involved. Very often when we look into security in the traditional sense of security, which the police used to handle, physical barricading and physical securing a place, one would actually see what's happening. In the technological domain, very often things happen without we knowing what's happening. We don't know who all are accessing our data and how they are accessing our data. And with the dependence of systems like transportation systems, airline systems, railway networks, banking systems, commodity exchanges, on technology, on internet, we become vulnerable. We become vulnerable to people who are into economic offences. We become vulnerable to people who are into cyber offences, cyber crimes, and we also are vulnerable to international crime. There are friendly nations, there are unfriendly nations who have a vested interest in trying to play havoc with our systems. And then there is the terrorism threat. Terrorists would not, the very common thing in the US people talk of is that the next 9/11 will not be with airplanes knocking down physical buildings. It will be through the cyber means. If somebody hacks up into the metro systems or the train systems or the subway systems, trains can collide, airline schedules can go haywire, and loss of lives can happen. Banks can collapse. Countries dependent on financial transactions can totally go bankrupt. Multinational corporations can suffer. So that way, the importance of security in infrastructure and information systems cannot be overemphasized. In our country, we have been slow, but we have been moving rapidly, and we have been embracing technology in almost all walks of life. One of the most ambitious, one of the most common projects, the UID project, seeks to collect voluminous data belonging to each one of us, including our biometrics, including our iris, and stores in the secure database. If somebody has access to this, and since all transactions are going to become UID based, there is a huge risk involved if each one of us, and including the government systems, are not made secure. There are international standards, there are well-defined policies which ensures that the systems, the networks, the data centers, the way the systems work can be secured. The IT experts, the technical experts, the vendors, the consultants are there who are there to guide us. The international protocols, ISO 27001 and other practices are there. But the most important thing with regard to ensuring security in the government, from my experience of having worked as the IT secretary in a state as well as having worked in the Department of IT in the e-governance domain, has been that very often what we don't see seems to be not very important. As they say, seeing is believing. If most of us have not seen a major cyber attack, like maybe what Estonia suffered some time back, which led them to, somebody was mentioning about Estonia, which led them to adopt technology in a much more secure manner now. Most of us have not seen such an attack which can lead to loss of lives or which can lead to loss of money. So we feel that it's not there, but the threat is very much there, and the only way we can do is to, number one, realize that this is a problem which needs to be tackled. Number two, be aware of what can be done. Number three, start ensuring following practices. Getting the systems audited, getting the networks audited, and all that becomes much more complex, especially when we have multiple ways of implementation of projects. Some projects are implemented by the state government, some projects are implemented by NIC, some projects are implemented by under PPP mode by vendors, and then different components of our IT system are handled by different people. And the level of competencies in all these multiple organizations also vary. So how do we ensure that everyone is brought to a basic minimum level of awareness with regard to security issues, with regard to IT and information? How do we ensure that protocols which ensure that information and infrastructure are properly secured, are properly followed? How do we ensure that systems are properly audited? How do we ensure that there is sufficient budget, sufficient amount of funds are allocated for ensuring that continued security is ensured? How do we ensure that all these practices are upgraded? Because those who are trying to hack into our systems, those who are trying to beat our systems are continuously working on it. So we also need to have a continuous improvement. Very often security audits and secure systems cannot be, the scope of work cannot be defined as it is defined in a software development project. So we have to have a system in which becomes an ongoing work. Though the challenge seems to be daunting, but it's not that it cannot be done, it has been done. In fact, I have been fortunate to be working in the Department of Revenue with the Central Board of Excise and Customs. They have been the first department in the government which has been ISO 27001 certified. The Central Board of Direct Taxes operates with the income tax systems and the other networks, the CPC, where processing is done online. All that systems are there, they are continuously evolving, and there are many other departments which are adopting the secure IT systems. We are very lucky to have a distinguished panelist with us today who have diverse experience of implementing similar systems in police, in armed forces, in railways, and I know that it's a bit late in the day and we are delayed, so without taking any more time, I would like to invite the panelists who are there to share their thoughts and what they have done, what can be done, and what are the suggestions which we all can take back to ensure that we make our systems and the information more secure for the benefit of the government, the citizens, and the people. So I have Major General P.K. Vashar, who is Additional Director General Military Survey. He is not here today. Maybe Mr. Sailesh Tiwari, Director Computerisation and Information Systems, Railway Board, Ministry of Railways. I request him to report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Since morning, we have had number of presentations on range of issues concerning security, e-security. Our speakers have touched upon the use of technology for personal security, to society security, and national and international security. But why there is such a strong need for e-security? Ladies and gentlemen, in last 25 years, Internet revolution has brought tremendous growth and development in the society across the world. It is said that level of change brought by Internet is unprecedented in the history of mankind. Obviously, it has brought huge comfort for all of us. It has made our life hassle-free, and possibly it has created more avenues for happiness. But on the darker side, it has exposed our life, individuals' life, societies and nations to greater risk. It is said that good and evil both grow together. As long as good is ahead of evil, there is no problem. But as soon as evil takes over the good, there is catastrophe. So, the leaders and thinkers in the society, their job is to ensure that good is always ahead of the evil. Ladies and gentlemen, e-security, security of information systems is a way to ensure that evil side of the information does not take over the good and catastrophe doesn't take place. Friends, coming to the Indian Railways have deployed world-class e-governance system across India, and about 8 billion passengers, they use our services in a year. Naturally, the security of these systems is very, very important for all of us. But before looking at the security of the e-governance system, let's look at the core values for which Indian Railways stands. Friends, number 3 is very important in the scheme of things of the universe. Mahatma Gandhi had 3 monkeys. The core values of these monkeys were Bura mat bolo, Bura mat dekho, Bura mat suno. I always wonder why he did not have the 4th monkey, Bura mat socho. Because root cause of all the problems in the society is the evil thought. But somehow he stuck to number 3. Even in Hinduism, there are 3 gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, responsible for creation, operations and maintenance, and end of life settlement of the whole universe. Ladies and gentlemen, unconsciously, railway also has 3 values, 3 core values. Friends, if you go to the railway stations, you will find 3 words written at most of the places. They are Sanraksha, Suraksha, and Samay Palan. Safety, security, and punctuality. Safety and security are not only our core values, but they are part of our character, not for decades, but for centuries. And realizing this, since its inception, the railways have the security force in one or different form, which is now known as the Railway Protection Force. We will talk about it later. Today's seminar is about 2 things, citizen security and ICT system security. And both these things are very, very important for Indian Railways. For citizen security, we have integrated security system gradually being deployed to ensure the security of traveling passengers as well as assets. On the information security side, we have huge deployment of security systems to ensure that large applications like PRS, UTS and FYS they are not vulnerable and there is no attack on them. Let's now look at the electronic security system of Indian Railways. As I said, security is a part of the character of Indian Railways. Naturally, Railways decided to have the Railway Protection Force to secure passengers as well as assets. In recent times, this force has been laced with the state-of-the-art technology. In fact, since morning, there has been talk about lot of data available at police control rooms at different places, and they say that we are not able to share the data. The problem is that you don't have an integrated system where every information is stored and even the control rooms are not networked. Realizing this, though we started late, but we are computerizing all our control centers across the country and fully networking them. Another important milestone has been provision of railway helpline. It is similar to 100, dial 100, but in different in a way that it is centralized at New Delhi and anyone can call from anywhere and lodge his complaint, and concerned RPF personnel at nearby locations will be directed to report and take the matter. This is in the process of full implementation. Passengers can dial 1322 and we are in the process of having GIS and GPS based system so that exact location of the agreed passenger is known so that help can be reached at the earliest. And there is a provision of support for vulnerable languages also in addition to Hindi and English. As part of the integrated security system, friends, in year 2009, we decided to have about 200 stations fully lashed with the state-of-the-art technology. And we sanctioned the work for about 365 crore. Again, it is in the process of being implemented. It has a CCTV-based electronic surveillance with IP-based video cameras and network video recorders. For access control system, we have under-vehicle scanners and we have personal and baggage screening system as well as bomb detection and disposal systems. Friends, now let's move on to the security of our information systems. Indian Railways have, as I said, deployed large number of IT applications. Moreover, it has a huge network infrastructure also. Since they are accessed by huge number of people, therefore it is prone to more and more probability of cyber attack. Though I must say that till now there has not been any major attack, security breach of Indian Railway system. This speaks volumes about our e-security measures. Someone asked a question to Mr. Gulshan Raj that what mandate has been given to the departments to work out the security infrastructure or follow the security guidelines. It is up to the departments to take the initiative. Government of India can only give the guideline. Realizing this, in year 2007, Indian Railway decided to constitute a group to lay down the baseline security policy for the Indian Railways. And a third rail organization was created under Ministry of Railways at Railway Board. CERT monitors the progress of IT security adoption measures over different units of the railways. And it guides IT security group which is responsible for deployment of state-of-the-art security systems. It also ensures that the baseline security policy is kept updated and information is disseminated to different units. It interacts with the Ministry of IT, CERT in another IT security forums and even interact with the experts also to know the best practices. Indian Railway has been providing security to such vast number of complex systems. Ladies and gentlemen, we have passenger reservation system, unreserved ticketing system, and other big systems which are rated as largest in the world on the one spectrum of IT implementation. On the other end, we have small servers and even the computers. All of them can't have the same type of security needs. Moreover, one must realize that Indian Railways has 1.4 million people. It has about 63,000 kilometers of network, more than 7,000 stations, more than 1.2 lakhs crore of turnover, and 7 to 8 billion passengers travel with the trains. So, such a huge system, organization definitely will have a varying need of the IT systems. Realizing this, what we have done is that we have categorized different kind of IT systems into different groups and provided their security, taken care of their security needs. On the larger side, centrally administered applications like passenger reservation systems, freight operations information system, and unreserved ticketing systems are there, which are taken care of by even a different network. We have two different networks to take care of this. Then we have batch type local applications consisting of payroll systems, MIS applications, control office applications, and workshop systems, which are located into divisions and workshops. And at zonal level, production unit levels, we have financial management system, time and affairs. This also we are trying to have a centralized system for this. And then at the lowest spectrum, we have PCs, small servers, and other equipment. As I said, we have worked out different security requirements for each one of them, and accordingly are deployed the security systems. In addition to this, we have also categorized our IT systems based upon data security and program security needs. Like for data and program confidentiality, data and program integrity, and data availability, these 3-4 categories we have divided into. Their requirement is again different. Like availability of data is utmost important for train movement, which is used in the control office application. Even a small amount of loss of data can lead to havoc. And whole train planning can be jeopardized. So its need for security is completely different from passenger reservation systems need. Friends, a question was asked to Mr. Gulsanda, what are the 3 things that you recommend that department should do? And these 3 things are universal for IT security. These are people, process, and technology. And we give equal importance to all these 3 processes. Security training and awareness of the employee is a very important aspect of people's management for the security systems. And then processes to detect, protect, and respond to security threat, attack, and vulnerability. Technology required to assist people and strengthening of the process to improve the security. On the IT security side, for the people, we have a very highly qualified and technical experts in the case. It is headed by a Chief Information Systems Officer in the case. They provide workout, design of all the security requirements of Indian Railways. Of course, Ministry of Railway gives them the overall guidance. Then at the zonal level also, we have a small a group of employees who are trained to take care of the day-to-day needs of the IT systems, their security. And in addition to that, we conduct training programs, spread awareness of the security problems in Indian Railways so that the employees Even the officers who are not much aware of the computers, they are also able to take at least first aid kind of initiatives. On the process side, security audit and regulatory compliances are extremely important. And since year 2007, we have been concentrating on that. Therefore, we are very confident that on this front also, we are very strong. Vulnerability assessment and penetration testing of critical applications, we have got it done by STQC also. And its recommendations have been incorporated into the system. On the regulatory compliance side, we are fully compliant to IT Act 2008, best practices of ISO 27001, cyber security guidelines issued by Government of India, and even we interact with the industry to find out what best practices we can adopt, what guidelines we should have. On the equipment side or technology side, we have the network security. We are concentrating in a big way. Ladies and gentlemen, I said that in spite of having systems which are accessed by more than 8 billion passengers, we have not had any major security issues. And part of the reason is that we have dedicated network infrastructure. In fact, for untethered ticketing system and passenger reservation system, we have one network. Freight operations information system, we have another network, and for rest of the application, a rail net is there. But gradually, there has been more and more access of our systems by outside through internet, and that has started with e-ticketing, where about 45% to 50% of our tickets are being sold by internet, and therefore our vulnerability has increased. So, we have basically tried to secure them at the network level as much as possible. We have tried to locate our major applications in common data center at the place. We have provided firewall, IPS, IDS, host-based firewalls, network access controls, and others on the perimeter. A common secure internet gateway has also been implemented for all the IR applications hosted by Chris. Host-based firewalls and security information event management tool is under process. This will also provide a higher level of layered security for all applications. We have a very strict policy through which we make sure that malicious software and viruses don't enter into our system. We strictly forbid the use of pirated software. We ensure that antivirus softwares are installed even in the isolated small servers and computers located over Indian railways. And all the critical servers are periodically updated with virus and bomb detection. On the application security side, we have vulnerability assessment and penetration testing also done for our major applications. As I said, we have got the STQC recommendations implemented, and major applications models are also put through the stringent security testing. Ladies and gentlemen, government systems are prone to attack by not only hackers and trickers, but anti-national elements, terrorist organizations, and unfriendly countries. Then what is the way out? Everyone wants to attack the government system, steal the information, or create a chaos. I have few suggestions. In my opinion, in fact, one officer from Jharkhand, he suggested that we should have a private cloud kind of thing. In my opinion, for all government needs, we should have a dedicated private IPVPN network, and we can call it a GNet. Move all applications to cloud. All government applications we should move to the cloud. Have only few POPs, maybe 4 to 5, connecting government network to the internet. Build robust security infrastructure at the POPs connecting to internet. Additionally, secure each of the data centers. Any access of any application through internet should be strictly monitored and may be access granted to devices of known MAC addresses only. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tiwari, for giving extensive details on what Railways is doing. I'm sorry to have interrupted you and tried to request you to finish early because we are running very late and there is another session planned after this. So, the rest of the speakers, with due respect, I would request you to kindly try to wind it, to make the key points that you want to make. Every project will be very detailed, it will require a lot of time. But I just request if you can finish in 5 to 6 minutes, then there will be some time for interactions and questions. Mr. S.D. Mishra has implemented the Safe and Secure Delhi, which again is a very extensive project, but with a request to present the key salient points in the time that is available. After 6 minutes, I will just knock the table, so that will be indication that we have to finish. So, Mr. S.D. Mishra from Delhi Police with the Safe and Secure Delhi project.
Honorable Chair, members of the dais, all present here today, a very good evening. Firstly, I must apologize, I am running late. This this presentation is more relevant for the second session. But then, as I will proceed, you will find that it does has element of almost all the sessions which are slated for today. The Safe City project is an initiative, it's not a project, ICT project per se, it is more of an experiment. It is a test of self-belief also in many respects, it's a change of organizational culture. And it is, as it progresses, it has literally become a black hole, where everything related to technology is now being sucked into it. Simply because it has been designed in such a fashion that it's both holistic and runs in parts, as I proceed you will see. The need for this project actually emerged in post-CWG Commonwealth Games 2010, where we suddenly realized that the organization per se had a negative connotation to technology. The natural tendency within Delhi Police was to actually reject technology. With human potential stretching to its limits, we suddenly realized that in order to be more efficient, we had no other option but to adopt technology in a big way. So this project actually treats technology as a product, almost like a toothpaste or a brush or a soap. And we are now positioning technology, selling technology within the organization, so that a need for it actually emerges from within. Until unless we find that a need emerges from within the organization, our initiatives are not going to succeed. So this project, while being an ICT project, is a test of organizational culture within the department. And it is moving ahead. We move ahead, come back, move ahead again. It's almost, it's going on in fits and starts. But yes, it is progressing. Now, what are the objectives? The first objective of this was to use technology as a facilitator. See, most of our investigating officers are not using technology to assess them in their job. So the first objective was to use technology as a facilitator in crime prevention and detection. Then the other problem was that all our information was in separate silos. The organizational culture was such that they were not ready to part away with their control over information. So this project seeks to actually seamlessly integrate all isolated silos of information. And integration of disparate systems is another major objective of this particular project. Institutional strengthening, where we want to automate all repetitive jobs first of all, and try to minimize the roles of checks and balances and inspections. Then improvement of citizen-centric services, where we intend to provide better services to citizens of the city. That is why the name of this project, the project is actually titled Safe and Secure Delhi, Leveraging Technology for Better Policing. Now what we have already done, we have already deployed about 5,200 odd cameras from an expenditure of 380 crores. The third phase is going on where technical evaluation is being conducted. We have our own fiber lane in the city which carries all our email services, videos, video conferencing and all batch management, data, voice, everything is on our own fiber. We have an integrated command control center. This started off as a pilot project. It's a small command control center, but we are able to see all the video feeds at this particular location, police headquarters. Our Safe City actually seeks to expand this particular command control center. This is the schema of the CCTV. This is the schema of the CCTV. This is the schema of the CCTV deployment, where all our CCTV feeds follow what is known as a distributed architecture. We have a local control station at the marketplace, followed by a main control center at the police station, and all feeds from the police control station to the C4I moves on our own fiber. It is a project which is self-sufficient. It has a support structure for 10 years and complete power backup at every level. So it never goes off per se. All our criminal record is now online. We have started an advanced project on this where we are now deduplicating and sanitizing our databases. This project is already on. So most of our criminal record is now online, available to each and every one of our officers. We have automated fingerprint system, Chris working. We are using it. It's a mature technology, mature system, and we are using it very effectively in our investigations. We have ANPR, traffic has gone completely paperless. We have an e-challan system in traffic. We have a mobile forensic van to handle forensics. And we have ZipNet where we share information with all our neighboring states. Now, when we actually started on the Safe City project, we did what is known as a gap analysis. We found that although data was there, we were lacking as far as providing information on the move to police officers are concerned. We lacked any resource or any means to actually access information when we actually required it. Suppose you are standing on the road and you seek some information, we had no way of getting that information. So that became a bottleneck for us. When we found that we were seriously lacking as far as video analytics facilities were concerned, cyber forensics facilities were concerned, so on and so forth. Then we had no control over movement of vehicles within the city. If we are not tracking a vehicle, there was no way in which we can actually find out where that vehicle is gone. So our Safe City project actually tends to fill in these gaps. Last but not least is capacity building and training. We intend to completely overhaul our training requirements, training needs, and align the training needs within the police organization with needs of the time. It has 4 main components: I2S3, management system of traffic, other initiatives including the World Bank project. As I said, it's almost like a black hole. Everything else related to technology goes into other initiatives, and capacity building. This is the overall scenario where it's a schema of the whole thing, where we intend to integrate what is available with us. On the left, you can see the CCTVs. We intend to deploy high-end forensics, facial recognition, video analytics at all the entry points within the city. Integrate it to the police station, bring all the feed to the C4I, provide feeds to the local controllers, for example, the DCP office, the district chiefs. This C4I will be supported by a mobile command center. And we intend to have our new command control center with 2 walls, ideally one for the traffic wall on one side and one for the main command control center that is on the other side of the same building. This process has already been started. What you see on the right, where analytics and information sharing engine is basically an attempt, it's part of the World Bank project. It's an attempt where we intend to integrate almost all databases which we have and all the external databases on which we can get our hands on. We intend to implement over a period of 2 years. As you said, as you have seen, most of our projects are already going on. Almost everything will run into phases. We have a pilot, we have phase 1, phase 2. Integration of existing solution is a key element. Then we have problem statements coming in, actually what we want from what we want technology to deliver, and we intend to use technology accordingly. This is the budget estimate. We have plenty of money coming in. I was just told today that the World Bank project has come through. The approval from MHA has already arrived. I have also told that part of the funding from Behra fund, this is a special fund meant for women security, has also come in. And best of all, we are not dependent on this funding by the government. We have divided the project into multiple sub-projects, and even if we don't get the funds this time, we'll be able to push it through our regular funding only. So that is how we intend to go ahead with this. This is the project overview, which I am not touching upon. We have a big element of cyber security, then asset tracking, data integration, plus information security. We are now planning to have our own information security policy. Our officers will not be able to run around with databases from our information sources and in their pockets, on their pen drives, so on and so forth. We intend to prevent that and ensure that all the private as well as public hardware which are there in Delhi Police is accounted for, and on the information on those systems are also accounted for. These are some of the key statistics. Although it is saying 6,600 odd cameras, we are told that government has only jacked up to about 12,000 odd cameras. So we have another 12,000 odd cameras coming in. The traffic junction for 500. Although we are going ahead with the pilot first. Pilot will take care of only 2 corridors. I'm skipping this. This is the other initiative parts. Capacity building. What we have done is that we are now assessing our own present training methodologies. What are the shortfalls? We intend to come up with what is required in the future and how we are going to implement it. The entire gamut of capacity building and training is now going to be intended to change. The World Bank project, I'll try to skip this. Basically, it has 2 components. The first is enterprise information integration solution, which is essentially a data warehousing solution, where we intend to integrate the various isolated silos of information into a central database. We have not tinkered as of now with the organizational culture. Everybody are there, they can control their own information, but we will be, without telling them, integrating it to a separate location. The workflows are not being integrated as of now. Then we are also coming up with an OSINT solution. That is open source intelligence solution. There will be a project, basically initiatives for women safety. It's a big project big initiative of the government. Number of projects are going on as far as the project is concerned, and we have just been told that some funding has also come through in this. Now this is the present status of the project. We have a consultant on board for the next 3 years. There are certain proposals which are read, which our decisions are pending. In certain cases, we are at the process of technology selection, where we actually ask vendors to deploy technology in our existing systems, and then we only test it. We have evolved the ANPR system accordingly. Our ANPR system emerges out of a lab from IIT Delhi. It is now a startup project for certain boys. It's a very cheap solution. Although the success rate of reading runs to about 99% during the daytime, it drops to about 60% during the night time. However, the automatic database conversion is pretty less. It's about 60 to 70% during the daytime, about 10% during the night time, because of the issues of visibility and lack of clarity of the ANPR systems. We are experimenting different methodologies for implementing our solutions. We also intend to integrate what is known as private CCTV deployments into our main system, where we can pull in the feeds from the private vendors. So for example, you have private CCTV deployments in, say, a mall. If required, we should be able to pull it out. A survey right now is going on regarding all the private CCTV deployments within the city. We intend to make a manual out of it. Try to persuade people to deploy CCTV systems and storage facilities according to which is synchronous to our systems, so that whenever some incident happens, we are able to take the feeds and do the analysis. This is again the activity, the present status of most of the activities. The World Bank project, our approval has been obtained and we are now in the process of floating the tenders as far as our two main projects are concerned. Thank you very much.
Giving an overview of the Safe City project, and hope that with the project being implemented, Delhi will be a safer city, which is the lookout of almost everyone. Now we have Mr. Loknath Behra, who would give an overview of what NIA, the National Investigating Agency, is doing with regard to information and infrastructure security.
I will limit it because we are running almost more than 1 hour late. I promised the chairman that I will complete it in 5 minutes. So I will not actually touch upon any particular organization and what is being the ICT is doing. One thing I wanted to say is that this particular technology, information and communication technology, has made the life of the common policeman very difficult. Because people other side who are wiser, more educated, more aware, they come out with so much of complaints that आज ये हो गया, आज ये hack हो गया, ये इसमें मेरा Facebook में अटैक ये कर दिया, and the common ordinary policemen, many of them don't understand that. Just by talking, saying that that we did this and that, it is actually on the ground. If we go by, more than 95% of the policemen in the whole of the country, they are blissfully ignorant of anything called information technology. So that is one part. Second part is that when you come and give a complaint, then it becomes a case and you have to register a case, then use the technology to solve the case. All these things are there. That is also at a very rudimentary stage if you compare it to other countries. But the one thing is that, like Mishra just gave, the ICT has also made the life of the police to some extent more comfortable. For example, many of the things which they do on a daily basis, nowadays they will actually type it in a computer, they will keep some particular things there, they don't have to put a carbon and make copies and all these kind of things. And second thing is that the forensic part, all the, if in handwriting or you take ballistics or anything, that's all have a IT interface. So all the machines which are being used, so they give you more accurate results. So that is one of the things which they do. And the most advantageous thing as a policeman, I feel, is that it has actually given good thing relating to communication. Earlier, what used to happen is that earlier there used to be only a wireless system. You put it in the PHF or HF or something like that. Now we have much more versatile things like terrestrial radio, which is being used in Delhi police and many of the police forces. And we have the internet, we have the good mobile telephony and smartphones and all this. This has actually made the job of the policeman little easy. Now, in the CCTNS, I think Suresh must have spoken to in the morning, that in the CCTNS project, we have something called specialized solutions, where we are giving the mobile data terminals to the policemen who are going in the bike, who can easily, he doesn't have to do much, just take mobile phone, he will touch the app and everything will come to his mobile data terminal, which will be fitted also to the PCR vehicles in Delhi to handheld devices even by a beat constable. So that is a very ambitious project of the Planning Commission which is being implemented, and we are shortly going to file the RFP, etc. See, these issues are quite, I just wanted to tell, as a person who has now handled IT for quite some time, I have now come to a philosophical level. I say that, look, unless until somebody takes the lead by telling the policeman that you have to be educated and you have to know, there is no point in actually talking about saying that हमने ये कर दिया और एक control room बैठा दिया ये कर दिया. This is not the way. Now, fortunately, the government of India has now come down very heavily on all of us, saying that so many years have passed, you have not trained policemen who are actually in the police station. So an ambitious project has been launched to train these people, 50,000 policemen, in the next 3 years. So we are working out on that at the Planning Commission, and everybody is interested and they are ready to give the money. Only the question is that you have to do it in a way so that they will understand the basics of what is computer and what is communication, what is IT, etc. For that, the biggest problem is, in the police is, sometimes somebody says that police is jinxed for as far as IT use is there. So people, the industry has come on a very, very positive note. NASCOM, Data Security Council of India, they are helping the police in training and infrastructure development. That's good. Still more thing can be done, like in the America, in the US they do. And my only issue is this: till the time the mindset of the senior guys like me and above me, that has to be changed. I asked one of the senior officers that computerization करना है. बोलते computerization से क्या फायदा है? ये तो बहुत बड़ी बेकार चीज में इसमें, because police is destined to actually maintain law and order and detect the crime, etc. That can be done in computer. This is the mindset of the senior people. That has to first change. I said that, look, can we get our CL applications? Application that is actually Abhishek is also here in the government also. Can we start a very small note, the CL application to be sent by a mail and to be approved by a mail? It is not happening. So this is how the mindset has to first change. And for the police, I think a roadmap for the use of IT and the appropriate technology should be made with the help of people like you, so that basic things they don't suffer. We are definitely suffering from basic diseases. Let us not actually think about cancer and all kind of things. No. The basic thing, let us actually think about headache and fever kind of thing. And if a policeman also understands that this is a smartphone in which this can be done, that will be a great thing. This is not actually at present. This is the black or dark picture before you. But I am very hopeful that the things are going in a better direction. So maybe it will be late, but in 3-4 years we can expect something better. Thank you.
I would like to finish in 5 to 6 minutes time as given to me. So a very good evening to all of you. Since I come from the government, I would like to share one of the major initiatives of the government, which has got a lot of IT components, and its applications will require security. But the applications and the initiatives are very interesting. Probably most of you may not have heard about the National GIS Initiative, which has been recently approved by the government, and in the financial year 2014 and 15, the activities will begin in a big way. The headquarters of the National GIS is coming up at Hyderabad, and I work as the project coordinator of the National Radar Registry at Hyderabad. But to go back to that the GIS applications have become very critical in disaster management, in decision support system, location-based design devices, and in military tactical system. And it has got a potential of job and economic opportunities, and it is going to be a major policy initiative. This particular project is driven by the Planning Commission, and Ministry of Science and Technology is the nodal ministry for that. The associated ministries are the Ministry of Art Sciences, NIC, Department of Space, etc. And we expect that in the next 5 years' time, it is going to be operational. Now, once this is operational, then it will serve as a platform for G-governance. It has got 3 components. It has got a data component, it has got a platform component, and the third is application component. Now, as you know, the Mother Earth has got enormous amount of data, both spatial as well as the non-spatial data. Now, the platform itself will be quite complex, and the applications will be many, because each and every government department, the private individuals will be the stakeholders or the users of these applications. So we need to create a geospatial infrastructure for such type of a product, which ranges from normal paper maps, which we call topographical maps, to the digital maps, digital elevation models, the 3D GIS, the various urban utility mappings, aerial photographs and images. But the convergence of these multiple technologies like internet, wireless communication, GIS, location technologies and mobile devices, and cloud sourcing of geospatial data will have the main role in developing effective GIS applications. Just to give you one simple example, if there is some SOS call at some particular location, because everything is linked with the location, then the entire connectivity, the emergency calls can be transmitted from the location to the police, the civic coordinating authorities and the appropriate authorities to take care of the whole thing. Now this is also going to create opportunities since the applications are many, right from, if you see this particular slide, it gives some of the examples, but the examples are only limited. Your imagination can take you to various applications what you can think of, which I cannot really list out the whole lot of applications. But just to drive home that it has got tremendous opportunities for both industries, academia for research activities, and for the government to design applications and adopt applications for their day-to-day governance. Now for this, we need to create a very effective geospatial infrastructure where the images coming from various places and the other inputs, it can be stored in a particular data format. It can be served in the desired way to the various user groups. So a very effective spatial infrastructure can be created which can serve for our disaster management, to meet our national security and other applications, and the many civilian applications which we require to do in day-to-day governance. This is my last slide to drive home that the entire system is also very complex. It contains a lot of data. It requires a lot of security measures to be taken, both physical as well as the other means of security measures, because ultimately this data is going to be used for national security and other applications. So, but the quantity of data, then the transmission of data are so fast in real time. So we need to devise effective security measures for that. Now finally, the issues and challenges. So we need to have the integrity of data and information, which requires attention. Security of data and information, both physical and in cyberspace. Accuracy, currency and authenticity. Services are customized for different user groups. Impact of time, speed of access to data and applications. The cost effectiveness. And ultimately, the government policies only drives the important government projects, and where we need to integrate different stakeholders and to make it cost effective and really useful and people friendly, we need to do a lot of indigenization of the technology. That's all. Thank you.
Very good evening. I'm not going to take much time as we are looking at the time and on slots. I'm going to talk about the solutions which we have, how do we fix it. We have hearing about problems, what we're seeing in cyberspace, what we're seeing in information security, what we're talking about citizen security. Everything is we are seeing that, okay, we're going into a digitization phase and we are on a very fast track for digitization. So if you look at anything on the government side, e-governance is there. We heard from Mr. Mishra, everything is digitized. Every images, everything, UIDI project, everything is digitized. What about them? Everything is digitized, so we need to have security for that. And who can access that information? That's important. So that's what my focus is all about. Talk about information security, which is there, and citizen security. You being the citizen, I being the citizen, what about my information? How about my passport records? What about my visa records? What about my travel records? What's there been recorded in the airports? What about anything which I do on is to be secure. It should be into a secure way. So that's what the citizen security which I will focus on, and that's what the initiative of all across. If you look at the government projects being run through, it's all about citizen security, which is run through any department of Ministry of IT or Home Affairs or anything. That's what the agenda was. So I'm going to focus on that. So before I just start on, so that's what was the vision of our founder, Mr. Bill Gates. Computing is going to be an integral part and indispensable part of almost everything we do, and that's what's happening today. We're seeing that happen every day today. So now we need to have security for that. We need to have privacy to be taken care. We need to have your reliability of all information. That's what we heard in the morning. What about a program which shows the date of birth 2010 or 2100? It should not be 1867. Does not make sense to us. What we heard in the morning. So all those things are the reliability. Any information which you get through, it should be reliable. You should be backing on to it, that information, and trust upon that information. That should be the part of every initiative and ensure the best practices. So that's what again comes to my today's challenge is what we see on. We are expected to look at work or access resources from anywhere and to access the data and from any device. Any device. You talk about any device, I should be at comfort to work from any device which I like. I am not binding you to pick up information by using your device and take care about it. So you should have your choice of your device to work on. And applications. So the thousands and thousands of applications are there which should integrate and support everything. And when I talk about anything, I talk about security as an integral word towards it. Devices, security, then application, the information in that using fetched by the application should be secure and all that. And are all about data. Data. Police is capturing data. Every information is capturing data. We have data in the satellites. We all have all information. How we have to have the data to build up statistics for further. So that is to be in the right hands and the right person and in the right shape. It should not be have an open access to anyone. So that's what is we are going through today's challenge. We do not have full control that who can access what. We see a lot of people have elevated ways to get the data, and that has to be cut down, and that's what is things going around today. So as this is also like now again computing is a part of everybody's life. So and we always connect to internet, and internet has become everything for everyone. We see it for the moment who can machine on, we are on internet. 95% of the time we are on internet in any form. So you don't know if someone else is sitting in behind and capturing it or something of what Trojan. You heard from a trend micro session, a vulnerability of anything has been exploited. It can be a product which is anything. It can be an application which is homegrown application or anything. So that is also a risk side of it when we are on internet. And that's what I just want to talk about. Targeted attacks are growing multifold. It's multifold. I experience every day because I do cybersecurity, cyber forensics. So I see all this happening on. And seeing the industry trends, we're seeing it's a $1 trillion loss as of today. And this is growing every day. Probably you might be experiencing it, you might not be aware about it. Your personal machine has been compromised and in control of someone else. So you have to look at those areas, your credentials, your passwords. I can be a very smart hacker. I can sit on your machine. You have the password. You will never change your password. But I have a copy of your password. What about that? I also open your email or you access your sources from anywhere else. And it's very much doable. And people do it. They sit there. They do not destroy stuff. They sit there. They capture data. Go back. That's what is the loss. So industry is growing. Everything is going devices. So if you look at 2016, you will see most of the people will be on tablets or smartphones. Every day new smartphone is coming up with the larger size, people throwing other phones, removing laptops as a practice or anything, and they're going to devices segment. And that's what is also stuff coming in. I'll focus on the big data, which is important because we have analytics, what's trend going around and all that. Along with that, I'm a little more focused on cybersecurity as a trend which is going around in the world. And it's expected that around the globe, worldwide, it will be $165 billion of spending on cybersecurity practices to be built and to support their organizations or government. So that's what is our estimate. It's not my numbers. It's a surveys and research has been done by various organizations who are driving the things on. And so we want end users to have everything. So for government, it's also that citizen data. Government is going on a e-framework for everyone. Every citizen will be able to see every data online, like your birth certificates, your death certificates, your applications, everything. Now passport can be applied online. It was never formed. So end user can work the way they want. And this is an opportunity for land to capture on. We have to feel that we have to build a framework where governments and organizations can find a balance and ensure citizen data, citizen safety is there, and information security is being taken care. So it's all about protecting the technology investments we have and we have to grow on, and that's what is a role we have to find a balance, strike a balance by putting our rights to security strategies, by having configuration manager. It's all about analytics, about frameworks to be there, how you can build up your framework for cybersecurity or for your security, where you have information coming in and do analytics on that. Threat management, again, to see about what's going around. Identity management is about credentials and everything, and strong response is how do you respond to what has happened somewhere. I'll again give an example what Mr. Mishra told about Commonwealth Games. We reacted very fast and when we sensed something is going bad. So it's all about making a strong ecosystem. So here I just put an example for Microsoft, what it's doing for a community. It's not for Microsoft's own business. Microsoft have a global telemetry system set up across where we check what's the feeds going around, what kind of attacks in which country going around, what segment going around. If you want to see, okay, what kind of attacks going around to the aerospace business or oil and gas segment, that can be get through Microsoft, which can provide you as a report. It's not my own business, it's just community work we're doing on. We have set up organizations to build up secure development life cycles. I'll be happy to quote an example for Adobe. Adobe has a lot of vulnerabilities coming in, but it always be thought, okay, something else is there. We built Adobe on a way that they can build up a secure development, how to write secure code. That's what, so it's a community again. And finally, industry leadership, like again, building the things and sharing stuff across to the. So finally, again, this is again, you should have a device-based mechanisms or a policy-based access controls. That's what is a way today to secure the resources. And that's what is, like as we're talking about organizations or government or anything, when information is fetched about, it has to be policy-based access controls. Where access policies are there, you access from anywhere. Information access from anywhere, that does not vary. It should not be Microsoft operating system. Let me be very focused and clear about that. If from anywhere you access the information, it has to be policy-based. If I am a person who has the power, I can see the resources, else not. And from anywhere you can get access. It's just not coming in the office. As we're talking about anywhere, you're working from home, you should have that access to the resources. And that can be done through a dynamic access control, which are on the fly. I'm not going to take much time on to it. I have to run fast. I have people more up. So it can be done through a dynamic access controls where it goes ahead. This is something which I want to talk about, resilience. Resilience is about building up your practice in such a way that, I'll quote an example of bamboo. Bamboo never broke. Oak can be broken. So bamboo always be going to twist as the wind falls and we're going to stand and make the environment strong. So your environment should be so resilient that if something happens tomorrow, it can bend, take a load and ensure it's still strong to protect your organization. Here just want to give you an example where I give you a collaboration of Microsoft and Australian government has done to safeguard their national interest, taking care about the people as well as about national interest of the system. So all the yellow dots which we see on that help Microsoft to build up the national security for the government of Australia along with the different departments, just not one, so multiple departments. And with this, I'm going to stop on. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll have it Mr. Amit Sharma come and join after this. Thank you. very much. And if any questions are there, how we can have that, I'll be more than happy to take offline in the interest of time.
Now, the pleasure to invite Mr. Sharma, special Mike.
Good evening, everybody. It's been a long day, I know, for everybody. In fact, I was originally lined up for the last session, that is on capacity building and forensics and cyber security. But somehow, I believe the timelines could not meet up, and then Mr. Anup insisted on that you must speak before leaving. In fact, I have also to leave, like many other speakers. So I won't take much of your time also, as well as, we are running far below the, schedule. So, but little bit of things I would like to share from where Sachin just left, and my esteemed panelists were also talking about. We are today talking about security, and the moment I arrived here until now, I saw a lot of perspectives of security being shared, right from the people who are into actually managing the security business, that is from the policing side, from the defense side, and even from our administration side. So I believe our state, Jammu and Kashmir, is the one state which is actually going through a scenario in which security matters a lot. So this session holds great relevance so far as implementation of security and its tools are concerned. Here I would like to share a few of my own experiences so far as the security side is concerned. I won't say much about it because much has been said about how to implement the tools, the spywares. Even Mr. Rai said a great way actually how the national level cert is doing. So what I want to share, like in a state like ours, Jammu and Kashmir, security has got great relevance in the sense I was a couple of days back sitting along with top security officers out there in the state, and we were discussing the security scenario. What actually disturbs, I would have discussed obviously in my capacity building side. There are two aspects to it. One which Mr. Rai was also answering while in a question, that the budget for security is not per se secured in the systems as of now, and that's a fact. It's basically marking a budget for e-governance, not precisely for securing the e-governance systems. And to a great extent, I would say it is right also in the sense like at present, e-governance of late has not picked up to the level it should have in all the states. Yes, in few states, security needs real push. But few states where actually e-governance is to come into place, there e-governance requires a push, and I know automatically security will take over. I'll just quote you few examples. Some people in the policing were sharing with me that we had some frauds in my state's experience, I would say, in the banking sector. That again is part of the cyber crime. There were people from the cyber crime cell and they were just sharing their experiences. Like there were certain people who were doing some cloning of ATMs, which is a very common cyber crime across the country these days. So some guys were very sharply doing it, and they were using all kinds of techniques. Some very cheap Chinese machines come, and with that they can easily make a clone. This is how they actually do it. So the guys told me, I said that where you have reached in that particular case. They told that, sir, we tried our level best. We have reached a level that we have reached up to those people. They were doing it, the kingpin was sitting in Bangalore. So they said that he was operating from there, and he trained some Kashmiri guys and people from Jammu. They actually started doing this business in the real sense. Like the modus operandi was like they used to make those clones, and then they used to visit shops. It's basically, not for taking out cash, but I believe for using for credit card purposes. So they say they used to go to the shops, and it was a 70-30 kind of equation. They used to tell the shopkeeper that this much you swipe, 70%, we'll take 30% you keep. This kind of thing they were doing. Somehow, somewhat in that business, some good shopkeeper actually had some police contacts. So when they reached to him, probably, as per police's version, this was their last attempt. They had made a lot of money in crores. So they tried for the last time that after this we will give up. So this was probably the last time. This was unfortunate for them. The police fellow, he got connected to police. There is something fishy, you please come. And from there this connect came up. So this is how they apprehended the whole thing in the last ditch attempt. They failed and the case came surfaced. And now still investigations are on, and they have caught almost everybody. Still the last man is to be caught. Then the second thing I would say, major crime or major things which are happening in our state, I say that whole perspective of policing has changed. Very good examples were being quoted in the afternoon regarding telecom merging with IT, and these days they have almost taken over. I fully agree with that. The way policing was happening specifically in a state, in a security sensitive state like ours, has completely changed. You must have seen the Delhi blast case also. The IPs were found out and Kishtwar and all that. Everything, this is how they apprehended, that cyber cafe person, and they got hold of that militant links and all that. Similarly, many times ambushes and everything, they basically use this as a major tool reaching to the criminals, or say for that matter even militants and those anti-national elements. They are able to go through, use this IT sophistication, all the gadgetries. I have had a lot of discussions with the people, top cops, like how they are managing, how they link up, how IMEIs are detected, and even if they throw away the phones, how the next one, whenever the frequently called number from the last I mean to say, policing has been using it to the bestest possible, this ICT revolution, and especially to maintain best possible security situations in a state like ours. But what is a bit disturbing is this is only compulsorily it is happening. It is not on a voluntarily basis. I see in the secretariat, in major departments, people are not ready for their capacity to be built in this domain. First of all, it's really tough to go with few things. I am very much strong votary for SDC, which my colleagues from Jharkhand and many other people were also talking about, state data center, and linking up with Aadhaar-like things. This is fantastic. It's not basically police's database. It is basically, police is always a subset of the journal system. So what I mean to say that basically what is required is to build a journal database for state resident data hub, SRDH, which many states already have built in. But states like ours are still, in early stages. I believe that state resident data hub kind of thing can be of great benefit. And let me add on here to a state like Jammu and Kashmir, where it is much more easier to implement such a thing. Reason being, because of Article 370. It is obviously a debatable issue, but then we have a provision of permanent resident certificate, PRC. So I conceived a project. Last year I was at IIM Indore, and there my major area of work, I did an e-governance. Whole year I was studying those things. My major area of work was on creating an e-PRC. That is a smart card-based kind of thing, in which basically, because PRC certificate is issued to every normal resident of Jammu and Kashmir. So, I thought we can link it up with Aadhaar, and same Aadhaar database can be used here. We can have a MOU signed with Aadhaar. Even UIDAI showed a lot of interest towards it. Same database of Aadhaar can be taken, and even a much better, because that's manual fingerprints we use in that PRC, paper document. So I thought we can use, all 10 fingers, proper biometrics along with iris and all, and same can become one of the most authentic database, because our state has another vulnerability factor. Cross-border people get their PRCs made wrongly, maybe people from other states and all those, for taking the benefits of this thing. So I thought more security, which is actually required also in our state. So I thought this can be a very good solution to have a more IT secure atmosphere. We're working towards this kind of solution. Hopefully the state comes up with this idea and they accept it, and we can take J&K to Gen Next so far as IT, securing IT systems are concerned, and making it more useful for the public. Rest, I believe lot of work can be done, and even I believe that idea was wonderful. Like if that kind of deceptivity can be built up in the systems, that hackers and those people, if this is again a brilliant idea. Like this is one of the ways actually to counter the hackers and all. But I believe still a long way to go. First of all, digitization should be there. That should be proper data, and that data also has to be properly maintained, authenticated, and then we go to those stages. So states like ours and many other states who are in a pickup stage and who really want to bring the difference, I believe major challenge is to take them towards building very good standard SDCs, data centers, followed by state resident data hubs, SRDHs, and then introducing clouds and many such good things which our friends in the industry are very keen to help us with. So I won't take much of your time and conclude with these words only, that such kinds of awareness campaigns are direly required, and our state is welcoming all such initiatives as and when such conferences are held. Confidence level among us, the people, especially the people working in the sectors which matter, government, police and judiciary and such, their confidence level goes high, and I would say that we are open to many such kind of conferences in J&K, because the times are changing. People are developing that interest in adopting IT, because they know it's a must now. They can't lag behind in the state, and we welcome all such initiatives. The only thing which is required is consistency in such initiatives. I'm sure such levels of capacity buildings are going to make a big change in the scenario, and a security must kind of state like J&K. So thanks for bearing me for this long. We'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Mr. Sharma. So with this we conclude this session.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Major General R.C. Padhi to present mementos to the panelists. We'll start with Mr. Amit Sharma, Special Secretary, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. A round of applause for our panelists. Thank you, sir, for a nice presentation. Then Mr. Sailesh K. Tiwari, Director, Computerisation Information System, Railway Board, for his phenomenal presentation on initiatives by Railway. Then Mr. Sachin Malik, Consultant, Microsoft Consulting Services. I also request Mr. Amit Sharma to present a memento to Major General R.C. Padhi. I request the speakers for a group photo